welcome to another edition of Bec Talks, where we talk all things small business. This is another collaboration from the Brampton Arts Organization and the Brampton Entrepreneur Centre. And this week we're going to be speaking about all things newcomer experience. What's it like to come to Canada to set up yourself as a creative business? And we're thrilled to have Kaveri Sehgal and Aditi Sangwan here with us in the studio today, just to give some advice, to share a bit about their experience and their learnings. Morning. Thanks so much for both being here.
Thank you, Michael, for having us.
Yeah. Maybe Kaveri, why don't you go first and maybe you could just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your life.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Kaveri, and I'm a visual artist and an art educator. I moved to Canada 2 years back, like on April 29th. It'll be 2 years complete now. So I was, in my home country, I was practicing as an art educator and then did printmaking. And then I moved here, and now I'm doing art, freelance artworks. I'm working as a freelance artist, doing commission-based work and custom artworks, and also work as an art instructor at Visual Art Brampton.
Amazing. And where did you move here from?
I moved here from India, Chandigarh, India.
What about you, Aditi? Could you maybe tell us a bit about yourself, what you're up to in Brampton, and your experience?
I'm a visual artist and art educator based in Brampton, and as well as founder Art Studio ISA, where we work on collaborative, creative engagement workshops as our focus point. I moved to Canada in 2019 from India. In India, I had a long journey. Like, I did my graduation from Chandigarh in painting. Then I went to Shantiniketan, West Bengal, which is eastern part of India, to do my master's in printmaking. After that, I got a government grant and fellowship to pursue my PhD in printmaking, where I chose such a topic to travel solo all over India. I interviewed a lot of people down there on printmaking in post-independent India, changes in attitude. After finishing my research, we were settled in Delhi. We had a studio in Delhi, and fortunately, I got an opportunity to teach as a professor in the same university where I did my PhD from, Vishwabhat University, Shantiniketan, India, where I was teaching in Department of Graphic Art, printmaking. So I believe it was over 20 years in Indian art scenario where myself and my husband, we both kind of had experience as freelance artists, art educators, and the best of Indian art practice and everything. And why we chose to move to Canada was to get international exposure and experience and take our art practice to a next level. That was our reason. And this express entry platform started around 2015. And after that, since we were already moving around in India, so we thought, why not give it a shot and see how it works? And so we got our PR from India, direct, and we came back here. And my actual journey, I would say, started in 2021, post-COVID, when things settled well, because during COVID myself and my kids were stuck in India. So
what was that like? What was it like being in India at that time?
I went back. We were, three of us were in the same place, the eastern part of India, where I was teaching.
Yeah.
So it was safe zone for that time, but obviously it was scary too. Because COVID has its own implication, and so much of uncertainty. What is going to happen in around the world? It was different. But at the same time, I had a toddler and a 6-year-old that time, 1 year and 6 year. And looking at their process of growth as an artist, that became my way of, approaching to my practice and to my decisions of moving and sharing in a different manner. So I incorporated their instead of getting panicked by what is happening around the world, we three of us came into a shell, and from there my practice turned into experiential art practice. So our living space turned into creative space, and then it turned into exhibition space. Amazing. So I brought in all those non-toxic and ecologically sustainable practices into my art practice, giving a backseat to my painting and printmaking practices. So it was natural dyes, cyanotypes, and all those things, which I can easily work with my kids in the studio space. And then it was an interesting, transformation as a parent, as an artist. How you always don't need a separate place from your family. You just bring them as part of your own process.
Well, you almost don't have a choice, right? For anyone else that is an artist and has children, it's like whether you like it, your house is a studio. There's gonna be crayons everywhere. There are gonna be markers everywhere. Yeah. Sometimes the wall becomes the canvas, whether you want it to or not. So you kind of have to just roll with that.
In COVID, everybody was stuck. Mm-hmm. You can't go out for with your choices. So, yeah. And then I realized that another platform where people look at artworks is virtual platform. Yeah. It's no more those physical exhibition spaces where you are, hanging on stuff on the walls. Yeah. So then I did a couple of projects, and till this date, when coming back to Canada, starting our journey from basement. So whenever we are moving away from one place to another place, I transform that into a studio kind of studio visit or open studio exhibition space, and invite people in the space, and then we move out.
Amazing. And what about you, Kaveri? You said it's almost 2 years now. Like, what initiated that journey to Canada for you?
So basically, I love traveling. Yeah. So I was like, and my brother was here in Vancouver. So I was like coming here to visit and everything. So I applied for visitor visa. It got rejected. And I was like, now how would I go? Yeah. Then I was like, okay, let's try the extrasensory way and come here as a permanent resident. Explore the world, and I was looking for a change also, and I thought, why not just go and see what it brings. And I've never left my home. Like, I've always been in Chandigarh, so I did wanted that exposure of living outside of the city. And then I was like, I applied for the express entry, and fortunately I got the ITA and got my PR, and I applied for it before COVID, and then COVID happened and it stopped, and then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go now, but then things fell into place, and it kind of felt like, oh, it's destiny. So I moved here. My husband was here studying also. Okay. So I was like, it's the best thing that I should do. And moreover, I've always heard Canada is so beautiful and everything. And I love nature. Yeah. And I was like, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah. And how is it?
Like moving here?
Yeah, or like you hear it's amazing. You picture, I think when people picture Canada, they picture the Rocky Mountains, and they picture fields, and obviously here in the GTA and in Brampton, there aren't any mountains here. No. There aren't any deers sitting by a lake, So
I landed in Vancouver. Yeah. Amazing. I loved it. And then I was like, I don't want to stay with my brother too, because again, I wanted to have my own thing, right? I've always lived under their shelter and protected, and I wanted.
The whole point was to get away from.
Yeah, so I was my fiance, then husband now, was here in Brampton, so I was like, okay, I'll move to Brampton. And the moment I landed in GTA, I was like, mountains? There's no mountains. But then I was like, it felt very similar to Chandigarh, because in Chandigarh also everything is you get everything there. There are, it is a very developed city. So there wasn't much of that difference, but then everything was bigger than life. Yeah. So then I was a little bit scared, because I know nobody here, and I was like, back in India, you feel like things will be very easy for you. Mm-hmm. Oh, I did that in India. I'm great and everything. But then you move here and you realize, okay, it's not that easy. it's not only like beauty, beauty, beauty. You will have to struggle a lot, right? You have to start from scratch. You know nobody here, and yeah, and then you are used to living in big houses, open houses there, and now like you move here, and a newcomer will always, I feel like we get into the basements because that's the thing we can afford, right? Even if we have, you collect all the funds back in India, we both, like me and Aditi, I'm sure, we were settled in India too, right? So then we came here, and
It takes a lot of bravery, right? To leave comfort and what you know for both of you, right? Like, it's a very brave decision to even just to move to a new city within the same country is brave, but to really be willing to hit that reset button in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so the first place we rented was a basement in Caledon, actually. And I was like, I cried. First day, I was like crying, like, why did I move here? Then, I talked to my husband, and then he was like, everybody has to struggle, right? You came here for a reason. This is part of the process. And I was like, yes. So I used to just go around for walks, enjoy for like 10 days, I would say. And then I was like, I can't do this now. I have to take, things in my own hands. And then I started posting my artworks through Facebook Marketplace. And I set out advertisements, like I do custom artworks and everything. And then I also, cold emailed everybody. I think I cold emailed you also because I was like...
But it worked out.
It worked out. Like, I think going out there and being vulnerable, right? You kind of do whatever you can to make people notice you, like you exist. Because you move here, nobody knows you. Nobody will know you if you will not put any effort to, right? So I emailed everybody. I actually first just emailed everybody for volunteering work because, of course, I know that I do not have the Canadian experience. Like, I don't know how things go here. Back in India, things are different. You know people know you, especially in the art world, right? You have been practicing in exhibitions, you have been, applying for scholarships. You know how things work. But here, things are a little bit different. Not a little bit, very different. It's not also, we have not studied particularly, like back in India, we have our degrees from art colleges. And then people know you from there, the art fraternity, the places that exhibit the works, academies there, they know you. But here, we do not have that foundation. And then I cold emailed everybody, and then I emailed at Visual at Brampton too. So I started volunteering with them. And then the first day that I went there to volunteer, I was like, it was like humbling. It was very humbling because you have worked in India, and there you get a lot of assistance in everything you do. But here you have to do everything by yourself. So I did that, and fortunately, it all worked out. Like, I started getting custom work orders, and then a job opportunity came up at Visual at Brampton too, and I applied to that. And then, apart from that, I started with a full-time job here as an assistant teacher because I had an experience in teaching. So I started with that. So I'm now managing everything.
Now starting to kind of build your network. I think you were part of the Newcomer Creative Exchange through the Brampton Arts Organization.
Also, the Newcomer Exchange. Then there was this mentorship program. I had my mentor, Miss Parul. So that helped me a lot because when you talk to people, you learn about their experiences. Not only that, you learn the lessons they have already learned. So I feel like just putting yourself out there, talking to people, listening to them, that helps a lot.
Amazing. What about you, Aditi? So we've spoken, there's a few different things in there. Obviously, it's like willingness to put yourself out there, volunteering to start building your network, your community. Sounds like a little bit of like patience as well. There's like it takes a bit of time to start getting your footing. Like, what about you, Aditi? Could you share a bit more about how you've managed to move things forward?
So first thing I would say is that as an artist, one thing which we all creatives should do is that keep your creative practice going. That was my first step. And when that is on there, you have a different kind of confidence to go out and connect to people. And with that, I think it was in 2022, I applied for Brampton Art Organization Summer Artist Market. I got through it. That was my first tabling experience. But through that table, when I was on the other side of table, I came across so many beautiful connections in the creative industry in Brampton, including Visual Art Brampton, where I'm also kind of teaching, a part of their faculty, as well as recently got introduced as board member in Visual Art Brampton. So all these experiences added to, not just CV, but to our own experience, which we call Canadian experience. Yeah. So you need to have that. Other than that, networking with other local creatives, like in printmaking. That's a printmaking group in Toronto. So all these members I talked with, and then we had so many, beautiful exchange programs in later years. And then there are organizations like Bec. Bec recently had this Starter Company Plus program. I was part of it, and as an entrepreneur for Art Studio ISA, when I was going through the whole training process, it was amazing. It was amazing in terms, because for me, Art Studio ISA comes as business later, but as an expansion of my art practice first. Yeah. So I got into it not because I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but because that was need for my art practice. When I came here, I started working, I needed communities, right, to connect with. Yeah. That's really important for an artist to. And then from there, we volunteer a lot of workshops through our studio space.
Okay, yeah.
So when you start getting into communities, that too intergenerational community, creative exchanges. So there are different aspects to it. One, you have a strong network in your neighborhood. From there, you start expanding to your, your further. Second, there are other organizations who are working with selective communities, like for South Asian women, for mental health, and all those things. When you include your art practice in those, kind of, you cater their needs.
Healthcare, whatever it might be, like, I guess, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but just thinking about your practice as an entry point to other opportunities, right?
Yeah. So that's how we were we got connected to many other organizations. So at the moment, I'm working with people in Malton, Milton, Caledon, and Georgetown. I met amazing photographers, curators. So it's like expanding my art practice simultaneously. But as an entrepreneur, Bec taught me how to work with numbers now. Mm-hmm. I was working with numbers in terms of how many people I'm reaching out to. But how to work with numbers in terms of what is coming into your bank and how it's going. So that is also really important.
Business skills, right? And it's like, and to your point, when you're paying rent and you're trying to figure it all out, it's like.
So that's really important and integral part of,
Well, and I think you're somebody too who is really the epitome of like putting yourself out there and being part of the community. Like I feel like you're always at Brampton Arts Organization, right? Connecting with other people, participating in our events, our programs, growing your network, and then you sort of see the fruits of that a little bit. Can either of you share any other sort of like resources or communities or mentorships that sort of you would recommend to people that are settling in Brampton or elsewhere? What else has been useful, right? Like I feel like when you move somewhere new, you almost need to figure out, okay, where do we get the groceries? Where's the library? Where's this? Like, as an artist, what's been useful?
I would say the first thing what a newcomer does is when they land into a new city, they reach out to their libraries. And each library has a help desk there, which comes from newcomer service centers. And all these people who are in the newcomer service center, if they know, they are well versed with what creative industries are in the city and how they can reach out to them, that would be amazing. So that is their first step. If they get a positive response from there, then there is no looking back. Second thing, as we discussed, that social media, right? I was not on Instagram before coming to Canada. So social media helped a lot. Immediately start following all the organization. As I said, our first step is our neighborhood. What relations you have with your neighbors, right? So whatever is immediate, connect to all those organizations where you can reach out, where you can go in person, where you can, go out and share, and then apply for whatever comes in. At some point of time, generally we have to have a why we are applying for some things, but at times, just remove that why. Just apply. Apply and see where life takes you. That's really important. Let your inhibitions go. Share your experiences in terms of traditional practices. Whatever you have, they are your strength, right? So try to build bridges of your, traditional practices, introduce them to your new scenarios, share them as an artist. Your voice is really important. Share your immigrant stories. All these narratives are really important.
Okay, so that's interesting. So though it can feel like you're hitting a reset button maybe when you move to Canada, it's like actually your best bet is to be incorporating your whole self and bring that past. So even if people don't recognize the school that you went to before, it's like you not shying away from that and from the work that you used to make and not trying to become somebody else.
Yes.
Right?
That's very important. Just be authentic, as authentic you are. That's really important. And second thing is, it's like you have got a complete blank canvas to work on, right? But what you did before, prior to coming to Canada, that was your experience. Now bring that experience onto this.
Yeah.
Right. So start from experience, not from scratch.
Kaveri, could you speak a little bit about that? Like how are you the same or different as an artist in Canada as you were in India?
Honestly, back in India, I used to practice in a certain way that was very traditional, I would say. Not used to do much of commission base or custom artworks or trying to stick to what I specialized in, that is printmaking, right? But when I moved here, it was difficult for me to practice printmaking because I was not able to find any studio. Basically, for printmaking, you would need the kind of printmaking that I used to do. I used to do like big wood blocks.
Yeah, very specific.
Very specific. And then colography, but larger scale work.
Yeah.
But then when I moved here and the spaces are confined, you just can't sit and wait, okay, I'll go to the studio, I'll find ways to go through the studio. And then it's not easy and it's not cheap. Things are expensive when you come as a newcomer. So every day you think of going to a studio, that kind of becomes difficult. Also, I was not able to find much of the printmaking studios here. Yeah. Then what I personally did is change the practice from just printmaking to shifting my focus to painting, mixed media, practicing with watercolor, gouache, acrylics. That changed when I moved here. So yeah, I would say that I did change my practice, and also I was kind of in that area where I was clear that okay, I need to get money to live here. And that's why the first thought that came to my mind is, see, I'm doing something I really love. My love is practicing art. It doesn't matter what I am creating right now. I love it. I love painting on the walls. I love printmaking. I love painting on a small sheet of paper. So that's how I started. That's why because I was not, even to participate in exhibitions, even to do anything, as an artist, you have to have means first. if you do not have the means to buy the paints or go to somewhere, I think you would not be able to, firstly, you won't be satisfied with what you have, right? And that's why I was pretty clear, like my aim is to first get the money.
Yeah.
So that's why I started with custom works. And fortunately, I found really good clients here. And back in India, I was also struggling with one thing, that people used to bargain a lot. Like, it happens, right?
But more in India than here, whereas here
No,
people...
here I felt like people were pretty happy to pay good amount of money too, right?
Yeah.
It's just you have to find a bridge. Like Ms. Aditi said, you have to find that bridge between yourself and connecting to the people. And fortunately, I have found really good clients. And I was like pretty clear, like, this is what I want to do. I want to stay in the art field. And so my practice shifted that way. And also because I love teaching artwork. Like, it's not just making art. And I feel like we don't give that much of an importance and credit to art education. And I really feel that can build, characters and build lives of people and kids. So I was always inclined towards art education, and that was my goal. And when, again, my future thoughts are like, I want to build a studio where we can practice artwork, teach artwork to kids, and then feel free to make the art, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, in those sort of business terms that we're speaking about, like the Entrepreneur Center would say, you're speaking about like diversifying your revenue streams, right? So you're teaching and you're doing custom work and you're doing different portraits, like looking at different ways to make, and
So basically, in my practice, mostly I do illustrative portraits. And I feel like people connect to them, and I love making it, and I love when they smile and just collect their artworks and they're like super happy.
That's amazing.
So
that feeling, right?
Yeah.
I would say one thing, that this could happen. I mean, we are sitting here because of Brampton Art Organization.
Oh, yeah.
I received so many calls from different parts of, we have a lot of people coming in Canada, like as new immigrants, and they would call me, so how, we see you are doing really good, but we have our, kids and relatives in this part of Canada. They don't get any resources, right?
Yeah.
How can you tell them how to, get out and do stuff? I believe Brampton Art Organization acted as that threshold point where we could, come out and get connected to that, creative community. If that wasn't there, we wouldn't have been, talking about our journey like as like from experience.
Yeah. Well, and now you're able to pass it on, right, and getting more involved in Brampton Arts Organization.
I believe, yeah. And there should be organizations like Brampton Art Organization in every city, working so effectively and actively. Yeah.
Amazing.
I feel like Brampton Art Organization is like that for the point where everyone kind of meets, right? It's not like a lot of people have asked me to like, how do we connect to them? How do we go them? And I just tell them, social media, just be there. And they post everything, like everything all the time. Like everything is there on their Instagram. Just go out there, look at it, and apply. Apply to each and everything that you feel is related to you. And you can, make things work for yourself, not like stay at this home and then think, okay, I will do it. Put your thoughts into actions.
Amazing. I think that's a wonderful way to wrap up this conversation. Thanks so much for joining us. You can learn more about the Brampton Arts Organization at bramptonartsorg.ca or find us across social media at BAO Brampton. Please make sure you follow us there and pass on that information. And could you both plug yourselves as well? Where can we find out more about your work, your website?
So you can follow me on Instagram. It's Kaveri _Sehgal. It's KAVERI_SEHGAL. Kaveri Sehgal.
And you can follow us on Instagram at Art Studio Isa, ArtStudioIZZA, as well as you can check our website www.artstudioisa.com. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks so much. Have a great day.